Well, hello, this is Bill Steffen. Hope you had yourself a great weekend. We certainly got a cold start to the work week. Temperatures here today are going to be stuck only in the 30s. We're going to be almost 20 degrees cooler than average here. Good thing about that kind of weather is you don't get severe weather when you have cold conditions here in April like this, and you don't get the blossoms and tulips out too soon. So it's not a bad thing to be cool at this time of year. Well, let's take a look at some snow up in the UP. The UP has been the snow magnet this year in the United States. Every storm seems to come up in that direction. And here another half a foot of snow has fallen in Ironwood and Hagerman Lake. Lance picking up almost 6 inches. Locations south of Marquette reported 5.5 inches. And you can see between 4 and 5 inches there at Kenton, Wetmore, Spalding, and at Herman. Roads up there were slick for a while. Things have improved quite a bit. And you could see a few more flurries up there, but really nothing major. And on the right side, you can see the map there showing where there is snow on the ground. Still a trace south of the bridge in lower Michigan, and that should not be an issue at all. But up along the Lake Superior shoreline, still a lot of places up there with a good amount of snow cover. There's still a couple of ski resorts that have been open here over the weekend, and it certainly looks as if they've got a pretty chilly start to the week. May not get above freezing the next couple of days up around Marquette and Sault Ste. Marie. Now we'll turn our attention to the heavy rainfall down south. These rainfall totals are just huge. These, in many cases, are 48-hour rainfall totals, and you can see it's not just one state that's had the heavy rain. It's many states here. If you travel down Interstate 75, you go through Berea, Kentucky, they had 13.45 inches. Rivers there are flooding, and a lot of roads are blocked, especially the secondary roads. Interstate highways, I think you can get through on, but even those, there were times where there were some places that it was blocked. You can see down toward the bottom there, Mobile, Alabama, picking up 8.33 inches. Storms were heavier northwest of Birmingham and then again south of Birmingham. You were lucky that the storm line came through in the middle of the night and it was a little bit weaker then. Well, let's take a look at severe weather for the next couple of days. No level 5 or level 4 or level 3 or level 2 or level 0 even. What you have right here in the green color is a general thunderstorm outlook. What that means is that there could be a few thunderstorms there, but we do not anticipate any organized severe weather. That would be for central and south Florida, for the Badlands back across parts of northern Wyoming and Montana, and also out in eastern Washington. We move ahead to Wednesday, and you can see there'll be a few scattered thunder showers south of Chicago. I don't think we'll get any lightning or thunder up here, though we will be seeing some rain and another area of thunder showers out through the plain states there. But really a good time to dry out through the southern United States as we have a couple of dry days here. Taking a look at the 72-hour precipitation, rain winding down on the East Coast here during the day today. There'll still be some rain and snow mixed up there in New England. That green color indicates there could be as much as half an inch of rain in southern Wisconsin, northern Illinois, northern Indiana, and northwest Ohio. Again, for us, the farther south you are, the more precipitation you would see. Much of that coming late Wednesday into the day on the morning hours on Thursday, and another system coming into the Pacific Northwest, that producing rain and snow at the higher elevations there. So let's take a quick listen to our commercial for today, and we want to certainly thank our sponsors. And Michelle, you got a cat.
So if you're like me and you have one of these adorable kitty cats at home, then you probably know how hard it is to keep your house clean. Cat hair just gets everywhere. You know what I'm talking about. But you can use Complete Care Concierge LLC. They are the fast, efficient, and affordable cleaning service serving all of West Michigan. They can clean your home. They can clean your office. If you have pets, they can keep your home looking great. If you don't have pets, they can keep your home or office looking great. They have you covered. They can do a one-time clean. They can do repeat cleanings, whatever you need, and they serve all of West Michigan. So give them a call at 616-264-1397, 616-264-1397.
Thank you, Oliver, I think.
When your home needs help, you might not know where to start. Why not ask Ace? We're always here to help with Ace Handyman Services. Our talented craftsmen handle everything from drywall and carpentry to doors and kitchens. We're the neighbors you trust, to get the job done right. Let's get started. Book your handyman appointment today. Ace Handyman Services, bringing helpful to your home.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Here's a look at our 72-hour snowfall map. Look at Maine, another 6 to 8 inches across much of the state of Maine. Look for some heavier snow to the east of Lake Ontario. Here in Michigan, not much. There's a little darker blue up there by Traverse City where an inch of snow could fall, but I bet a good amount of that melts as it falls. And there'll be some snow flurries up across the UP. Nothing much off to the west of us. We'll have to watch that storm in the Pacific Northwest, but we've got some dry weather shaping up for us here from about Friday through next weekend. Next weekend should be a whole lot warmer than this weekend has turned out to be. So our headlines, partly sunny and cold for today and into Tuesday as well. So we got 2 days back to back here where we've got cold weather. There'll be a chance for a mix of precipitation Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Very gradually, temperatures will start to moderate across the area. And we could be seeing some 60s here early next week. And that will certainly feel very pleasant out here, probably with a little bit of sunshine as well. Our forecast details here for today, 38 degrees, the high temperature. In fact, you get up by US 10, it'll probably only be about 35. Cold day. I've only got a crescent moon here out of my moon package here, but the moon's actually about 60% full right now and working its way toward the full stage. Temperatures early morning, the next few mornings are going to be well down in the 20s, low to mid 20s, so some hard freezes, and the birds will have to contend with the bird baths freezing over overnight. Humidity drops to 40% here during the afternoon. 3-day forecast, cold weather for Tuesday, Wednesday, and on Thursday. Again, a good bet for some mixed precipitation, rain and snow, and much of that snow, which should be light and will melt as it falls. But I could see perhaps early in the morning on Thursday that maybe we would have a little bit of coating of white on the grassy areas north of Grand Rapids here. Our forecast for high temperatures here today, look at all the blue out there. We're singing the blues if you like cold weather. Temperatures here only in the 30s during the day today. May struggle to 40 over by Detroit, and that's about it. Up across the Lake Superior shoreline, look at those temperatures only in the mid-upper 20s today. They'll be hanging on to their snow cover for a while. Forecast for Tuesday, not much better. A lot of cloud cover there, as you can see. And as we get into Wednesday, temperatures slowly start to moderate. We'll be seeing readings back up into the at least mid-40s during the afternoon, but with that chance of some rain or mixed precipitation Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday night. So again, there's another look at Thursday, and you can see temperatures start to moderate a little bit. By the end of the week, we should see temperatures up close to 50 degrees. So we'll take a look at the 5-day forecast for you here. Sunshine, cold weather here expected for the day today. Temperature in the upper 30s. A little mix of precipitation, rain with a few snowflakes for Wednesday and Thursday. A little higher precipitation amounts down toward the Indiana border. But mid-40s here Thursday, and then sunshine returns for Friday, Saturday, and probably Sunday as well. Looks like a great weekend, not terribly warm, but be able to get out and get into some of that yard work. Temperatures here in the mid-50s here Saturday afternoon. Latest long-range outlook has temperatures near average here, which would be mid-50s for highs in our 8 to 14-day period here. That is the 15th through the 21st. And in terms of precipitation, we're near to slightly above average on precipitation, and that would be just in the form of some rain. I don't see a lot of big storms coming our way here over the next couple of weeks or so. I think the severe weather will be at a minimum after that. It really ramped up here for a few days, and floodwaters will have a chance to go down. Rivers in Michigan will get a chance to go down as well, as we'll be seeing conditions here on the dry side right on through after we get through Wednesday into early Thursday, right through about the 4 or 5 day period. So, Michelle, what you got? There's our precipitation amounts, and you can see near average here across West Michigan.
So we are going to start with an interview with a friend of ours who does for Central Florida what we do for West Michigan, and that is Josh Brown weather. Since it is spring break week and many of you are in Florida, and Florida is our second biggest state in terms of viewers, we thought it would be fun to ask him for a special spring break forecast. So let's take a look at that. And we're very happy to be joined today by Josh Brown of Josh Brown Weather. Josh does what we do only for the Central Florida area. He is a meteorologist and he also knows a lot about Disney. So he's someone that I follow on the socials and we'll show you how you can do that too. And we know that a lot of you are headed to Florida for spring break, or maybe you're retired and you're in Florida. So we invited Josh Brown to come and give you a little summary of what you can expect if you're in Florida this week. All right, Josh, thank you for coming to the show. What can you tell us?
Well, I do expect another hot one across Central Florida today with temperatures reaching in the low 90s. I expect the next chance of rain to arrive by late Monday night and into early Tuesday morning. And then things will turn cooler as we approach mid to late week as temperatures will dip in the 70s and lower 80s. And remember, folks, right here in Orlando, there's always 100% chance of magic.
And do you have any advice for what gear people should have if they're going to have a good time? Can they expect to need a raincoat? Is it going to be shorts weather? What do they have in store if they're going to be prepared for the week?
Well, most of the rain will hold off until like the overnight hours, like late tonight into early tomorrow morning. But for the most part, it should be dry. So short sleeve shirts, shorts, tank tops.
It sounds awesome. I wish I was there. So here are all the places where you can find Josh Brown on socials. You can join his 13,000 followers on Facebook. And here's where you can find him on Instagram and the YouTube for shows like ours. And he does some weather tracking as well on his socials. So you can find him at Josh Brown Weather Page. Thank you so much, Josh, for joining us.
Well, thank you.
That was great.
We'll put
Let
in.
me add one thing. It takes some sunblock along, especially if you sunburn easy. The sun is higher in the sky during spring break week in Miami, Florida, than it is in mid-July here in Michigan. So you can get sunburn really easy, and you got to make sure you have that sunblock. Take a nice hat along with you as well that would cover up your ears. They tend to get sunburned the fastest, and maybe your nose too. See, when I was a kid, we didn't have sunblock. We had zinc oxide, which is that white gooey stuff that lifeguards used to spread on their nose. You always could tell where the lifeguard was or who the lifeguard was with the zinc oxide there. But do take some sunblock along.
And we'll put in the comments on YouTube where you can find his social channels.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so one thing I was wondering about today that I looked up is what the record temperatures were for April 8 in Grand Rapids. So the highs that I was able to find, there was a tie in 2021 and 1931 for being 74 degrees on April 8th, which doesn't seem all that high. I was a little bit surprised.
No, that surprises me too. I remember one spring break week in 2007 where it was just chilly the entire week. Pretty cold, but this time of year you certainly get a lot of variation. It can be in the 80s one day, and 2 days later it can be snowing. That's typical Michigan in the spring.
Mm-hmm. And then these are the highest temperatures of all time, so not just April 8, but of all time. 108 degrees on July 13, 1936. What was going on in the 30s? Look at all those 1930s.
19th, people talk about extreme weather now. If you want to see some extreme weather, look in the 30s. We had the Dust Bowl era. We had the all-time biggest heat wave ever in the United States. Mm-hmm. We had one of the coldest winters that we've ever had during that winter of 35, 36. We had some terrible tornadoes and loss of life, and we had some major hurricanes hit the United States. So if you're looking for a time of severe weather and extreme weather, check out the mid-1930s here. You can see all those days here where we had extreme heat. And you can see the one recent year there, 2012. That was the year it got really warm in March. We had the Dexter tornado, which was an EF3, I believe. And we had a super heat wave during July. And that was a time when we had very little wind on those two hottest days, too, which made it even worse. We didn't have a breeze to cool you off. That was, again, back in the first week of July in 2012.
All right. Today in history, April 8th, 1931, when they were having some wild weather, this bird was named the Michigan State Bird.
Michigan State bird is the mosquito. It's what it seems like around here. It's the one thing that flies and comes out at you. Oh, my. Let's see. Illinois is the cardinal, so Michigan. I don't know. Would that be the robin for Michigan? It is the robin.
Yes.
And the robins were back in early March. The first robins to come back at the first choice of real estate. So sometimes they like to be one of the first ones to come back. Hummingbirds come a little bit later than the robins, but there's plenty for them to eat out there. The snow's melted off in late February here, so they had a chance to poke around. Robins don't go to bird feeders for the most part. They don't really like bird seed. They would much prefer one of those nice juicy worms, or to poke around a log and see if they could find some something on the log there in terms of insects or grubs or something like that. But they're doing well this year.
All right, let's see what else we can learn. The robin is not only the state bird of Michigan. What 2 other states have the robin for the state bird?
Oh, I don't know the answer to that one, but let me guess. Let's see. Probably 2 other states in the Midwest or East.
Getting warmer, yes.
Yeah, we're not getting warmer outside, that's for sure.
Well, there are hints on the next page. So
okay, how about a hint? State 1 has an airport with the airport code BDL. That's Hartford. That would be Connecticut. Bradley crashed during a training drill in 1941. And number 2 has a state motto of forward. Okay. The state dances the polka. That's just Pennsylvania polka. Oh, the state slogan is Americans Dairyland. That would be Wisconsin. So Wisconsin and Connecticut.
Yes.
And
so
Connecticut
Michigan,
right.
Connecticut, and Wisconsin.
Right.
Robin for the state bird.
Wisconsin has a instead of Alice in Wonderland, they have a great contest in Wisconsin called Alice in Dairyland. And I remember my dad taking me up there to the Wisconsin State Fair where Alice in Dairyland was speaking. This was really important. Plus, you got
what
a little.
What happens at Alice in Dairyland?
Well, the only thing that really impressed me was you got a little paper cup with a tiny scoop of ice cream in it. So that's kind of neat. But Wisconsin is the cheese state. It's cheese and ice cream, and it's butter. Land O'Lakes butter, I think, was there. Land O'Lakes is in northern Wisconsin. So yeah, interesting day. But we salute the robins of Wisconsin, Michigan, and Connecticut.
On April 8th, 1871, this city incorporated. It is in Eaton County, but there's a small part that is not populated that is in Clinton County. It is on the Grand River and fittingly has Grand in the name.
Grand Ledge. How's that? Grand Ledge. Yes, indeed. There's some actual cliffs over there. There's a boat ride you can take over there, and I've never done that. And I really, I have to do that.
We'll put it on the list.
Yeah, that's Grand Ledge. My next door neighbor to the north lived in Grand Ledge for a while. So that was more about it.
And I guess they had a pretty big resort that had one of the first roller coasters in Michigan.
Yeah, way back when. Mm-hmm. It's interesting how that's changed. Of course, we had what is it? Ramona Park in East Grand Rapids was an amusement park area for a while, and Babelo over in Detroit, where the big amusement park areas. Second city in Michigan to get electric lights after Lansing.
And their population hasn't changed much. Looking back through the last handful of census, they tend to hover right around the 7,000 mark.
Mm-hmm. Interesting, 7,784. The city with the most population in Michigan is Detroit. Grand Rapids is second. You know what third is in population?
Oh, that'd be a good question. Well, so
Nobody
Traverse City's got
right.
really small city limits, so I wouldn't think it would be that. Kalamazoo?
It's Detroit, and then Grand Rapids, and then in population, the third is Warren.
Oh, okay.
And I think the fourth is Sterling Heights, maybe. Interesting.
Okay, on this day in 1913, the U.S. ratifies the 17th Amendment, and because of it, members of this legislative body are now popular vote elected.
I would guess the Senate.
Yes, you've got a 1 in 2 chance. It is the Senate.
Yes, indeed. Well, and they used to be appointed. There were 2 from each state, and there still are, but now they are elected.
And who are the 2 current U.S. senators from Michigan? I'm ashamed to admit I didn't know.
Slotkin and Peters.
Very good.
Peters is not running for re-election, so we will have a new senator there soon.
And then we had Stabenow, and then was the one before that Vern Ehlers?
He was a representative.
Oh, so who was the senator when I was in high school?
Oh golly, who was back there? Spencer Abraham was for a little bit. It was kind of interesting because I'm from we're going back to an era where we didn't have quite the polarization that we have today.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Who else was back there? I don't know. Most everybody came from the east side of the state.
Well, anyways, what else do we have? This U.S. president's wife was born on April 8, 1918. Born in Chicago, Illinois, she graduated from Grand Rapids Central.
That would be Betty Ford.
Very good.
And in fact, Betty Ford was born about a mile away from where your grandfather was born. My father was born on the north side of Chicago. Yeah.
On April 8, 1904, New York City renamed Longacre Square to this because of a business that relocated nearby.
Saks Fifth Avenue. That would be a business.
Times Square.
Oh, Times Square.
Yep, named after the New York Times.
Oh, okay.
Yep, they started sooner than that, but then relocated their offices, and that was enough that they renamed it.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. And of course, that's where the big celebration is for New Year's Eve.
Mm-hmm.
For many years, Dick Clark's Rockin' New Year's Eve would be on TV. I think he was ABC, if I'm not mistaken.
So we were talking about this yesterday, and we were talking about how the airport code for San Antonio is SAT. And I wanted to look this up because I wasn't completely sure. But Texas has
SAT and ACT, just like the test.
Yeah. So what Texas airport has the code ACT?
That's Waco.
Yeah. And 140,000 annual passengers compared to the millions that go through Houston each year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not a big town. I mean, that's
for commercial air travel in Waco, it's mostly American Airlines and then regionals that serve them, from what I can tell.
Isn't former President Bush, doesn't he live? He's got a home in Waco or near there?
I think so. I almost ended up going to law school there. It was my second choice. Yeah. And part of the reason that I chose SMU over Baylor was that I didn't have to do the extra leg. I could fly right into Dallas instead of having to wait for the layover.
Interesting. Well, SMU certainly worked out for you.
Yeah, but I went and visited Waco, and it's a really fun town. They've got the Dr. Pepper Museum. Yeah, it's a really fun place.
Yeah. Interesting place.
All right, so you can go with Bill to the Canadian Rockies, July 19 to 28. That is coming up.
Yep. And if you're interested in that, take a look at the video that we have. You actually get $100 off if you watch the video on the trip here. And this is where we're going. We're starting out in Calgary. We fly from here to Chicago to Calgary. And then there's a beautiful trek that goes, I've been there, but it was 40 years ago. I'm really looking forward to seeing it again. From Banff to Lake Louise to Jasper on the north. And then we'll hop a train and go across the Canadian Rockies over to Vancouver. And then we're going to head out to the island, Vancouver Island, and visit Victoria, the city there, and the Bouchard Gardens, one of the most famous gardens in actually the world, really. We fly back to Seattle and then from Seattle back home again. Should be an amazing trip. And if you'd like to join myself, my wife, and a number of other people from the Grand Rapids area here, you can get more information at Holiday Vacations, holidayvacations.com.
And it is a fully guided tour for all ability levels, so you won't be traveling alone, and it leaves right from the Grand Rapids Airport, although you can join the tour from anywhere.
Should be great.
More information at holidayvacations.com, and you can get that $100 travel credit by watching the video.
Should be great. So check that out, please. And don't forget our sponsors. And boy, bundle up. This is going to be a really cold day out here. We're going to be seeing temperatures low to mid 30s for a good portion of the day, probably peaking in the upper 30s this afternoon. Winds will knock the wind chill temperatures down into the 20s. So just kind of pretend we're back in February for a couple of days. We should see some sunshine poking through the clouds, and it should be a pretty good day. Hope it's a good day for you, and thanks for joining us.